in a world of abundance of water, you want to make sure that water goes where you tell it.
Yes, sir.
All right, enjoy this one. This will be fun. Giddy up. Welcome to the Your Little Castle Show. Yours truly, I'm the Cardinal Cowboy. Carter Rethwish, a.k.a. the Cardinal Cowboy, or my titles are catching up with here. We're moving quick here, but we'll show off the cowboy hat in just a minute here. Our guest recognizes this. David Sylvester is in the building. He is an expert in the gutters and exteriors world. That is a place where there's lots of work to be done. Do you go by Dave?
Dave is good.
Dave is good?
Yeah. And, David's a little formal, but we'll go Dave.
We'll go Dave. I like Dave. That's what my buddies wrote. It was David. No, it was Dave.
Right.
Dave Carpenter. Dr. Dave Carpenter, who's down in Florida now. But this whole world of, I like what you guys talk about there. Managing water. Water can be very destructive to our little planet, but you want to make sure you tell it where to go, right?
Absolutely.
Why is that so important?
Well, I tell you, water is a problem. And here in the Midwest, if you don't have your water getting away from your house and away from your, the walls of your house and the roof of your house, you're in trouble. So we want to manage that for you and get it out of the way.
Well, that's important. So we'll talk about it with our sponsors, Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle. I threw that in there. Brooke likes that. But you want to have a nice house where you can have wonderful furniture and wonderful fixtures, because that's what we all espouse to. Maybe that house was then set up with beautiful exteriors and gutters from the Gutter Pros here in St. Louis. So we're going to put their website and everything up on the TV walls. We've got two giant TV walls here in studio. So let's get into it. What led you here? You've been doing this now for 35 years. You started when you were 3, I guess.
No, almost. It was in elementary school. No.
What led you here?
It's a good buddy of mine. Was he and his father and his brothers had a gutter business here in St. Louis, and they were looking for a sales guy. I was a young, hungry father with 3 kids, and so I joined their company back in 1990, and it's just kind of led to a lot of fun and exciting adventures. I mean, every day is a new adventure. Sure. It just amazes me how fun it is for me every day. So
you really get your hands dirty, or you're getting out there where the water goes and all of the other. I didn't realize how important gutters were until we had some waterproofing guys in here, and they're like, the biggest cause is because they have poor gutter systems, and they're taking all that water, goes out and consolidates for that quarter of the house down this one tube, and it'll start running and go right into the house. Right into the house. If you don't have the proper guttering system.
Yeah, and if it overflows, that's the other issue, is that the foundation companies always come and say, do your gutters first. Your gutter's the first step. So that's absolutely right.
Okay. Well, obviously, most houses have gutters. I did some study. Not everybody has gutters, but in the Midwest, as you go north, everybody's got them, or how do they? Why is that?
Kind of a Midwest thing. It's really, I don't know how somebody in the Midwest would not have gutter on their house, even though some of them are designed supposedly not to have them. But in the Midwest, if you don't have gutters, you're really asking for it.
Yeah, I'd say, because again, we're back to what is the issue then? You've got water running all over the cover. Whenever it rains, it doesn't just rain in one particular spot, right? It covers the whole roof, and all of that is being run off, and it's just coming off the edges.
Yep.
Why do you need gutters then?
Well, ground saturation. I mean, with the downspouts and the water flowing to these downspouts, and oftentimes people have underground drains that they drain into, it gets the water away. You don't want water saturating all around your house at the foundation. It'll find its way in. Even a hairline crack will find its way in, or a window well, or a window that's sitting low. Water fills up, it'll go in the window. So we want to help clear that away from the house with the gutters.
Yeah, very often they're built into the roofing system a little bit. You put the roof on first, and then you put on the gutters.
Roof first, then gutters.
Why is that?
Well, oftentimes a roofer, without wanting to, if you have a brand new gutter up there, they'll set their ladders against a brand new gutter and crunch it. So we always do gutters after the roof is completed.
Okay. And that'll help you to keep that structure, because anytime you get these things have seams, and I guess they're
seamless.
Some are seamless.
Yeah,
high quality ones. You don't want seams, and that'll keep that water flow again. Because if you've dented them, creased them, you're controlling the flow of the water.
Absolutely.
You want that to go all over the house.
Aesthetically, you don't want it to be ugly with a big dent right over your doorway. And roofers ought to go first, just so that they can get their work completely done. A lot of times gutters will remain on a house while a roof is being done, but then because of the roofing, that whole process, they do get dinged up. So gutters, we come in afterwards, tear off the old ones and put up the new ones.
Yeah, you don't want to start beating up your gutters.
Yes.
They need to look aesthetically pleasing too. You put a nice set of gutters on. You can tell when a house has old gutters because they're usually off color or beat up and
dingy, dented, beat up, hanging off the house. There's a whole lot of reasons.
Not connected correctly.
Right.
Those are all
draining the wrong way.
Important things. And then now you've been with Gutter Pros. Tell us a little bit about the history there and why you started with them.
Gutter Pros, I had worked for a different company that ended up going out of business just because there was a death and the business dissolved. And so I was working out of Overland Park, Kansas when the owner of this company came over and asked me to consider coming back to St. Louis. I mean, they knew that I had a lot of experience in doing gutter work for St. Louis. And so I was really honored that they came and asked me to come back. So it's the only time I was ever away from St. Louis. I joined them in 2020 just as COVID hit.
Gotcha. Ooh, did that make things a little different?
It was crazy, but in our line of work, since we can talk to people either, face to face or through a door,
right?
At that point in time, nobody wanted to talk to us, but we still had lots of work and still had plenty to do, and so we just kept on going. So everything was super busy during COVID for us.
Did they determine that gutters were vital for the survival? I mean, some were critical businesses. But gutters
I don't suppose that we were listed as the high priority. However, there were needs to be met, and so we kept going. And so we were all fine.
And here you are now. The housing industry is doing pretty well now. And
it is.
Is it mostly new construction, or you're helping a lot of people with the old gutters too? How long do gutters typically last?
Well, depending, 15 to 25 years, somewhere in there for the seamless aluminum. You've got houses here in St. Louis that have copper gutter on them that were built in 1900 that still have the old copper gutters on them. So those are seeing the end of their life. So, but yeah, right, a standard seamless gutter will run 15 to 25 years, and that's just because houses settle over time, or there's damage because tree limbs fall or whatever. There's a whole lot of reasons why at a certain point it's time to replace.
Has the technology changed over the years? What are some of the advances? What are some of the benefits from having new gutters versus old?
That's a great question. When seamless gutters started, I would say mid-70s, the 5-inch gutter was about all you had. And that's the standard size now. And it was all what we called embossed aluminum. So it looked like Reynolds aluminum foil, shiny aluminum on the house with a kind of a grainy texture to it. Well, as technology has gotten better, now there's a wide variety of colors that you can select that kind of blends with either your siding or your windows or your roof, however you want to do that. But now, with 6-inch gutter being much more popular, we do a whole lot of 6-inch gutter to replace the 5-inch, which is a larger gutter, has much greater holding capacity and so forth. So.
The benefit to them is if those bigger storms.
Oh yeah, it handles a whole lot more water. Now you might think, wow, that's not a whole lot bigger, 6-inch versus 5-inch. But 6-inch gutters are an inch wider and an inch deeper than 5-inch, and the profile is essentially the same. So, but it just looks bigger,
right?
And it handles a lot more.
And that's important because, getting back to that, if you overflow gutters, then you're starting to flow inside the house and down the inside of your siding. And
oh yeah, you don't want that. And also with 6-inch gutter, you have larger downspouts. So that also, with the hole that we cut in the floor of the gutter, is a much larger hole, so it just pulls the water out of the gutter faster.
Okay. So. And these are all issues that if you're not running your gutter systems correctly, you're going to run into problems. And water, how the detriment of water. I mean, we talk about it. By the time people start getting mold and anything related to water, now you've got much bigger problems. Gutter systems keep that from happening.
Yeah, it certainly helps. Now, if there's water penetrating the inside walls, that's probably a completely other issue. But in some cases, it can be that the gutters have clogged up or they're full of debris and water's finding its way in and creating those mold problems. But it's not because gutters are necessarily failing that people will get mold in their house. There could be some other issues with that as well.
Okay. Again, back to why this is so important. Tell me then, what is about the passion you have for this? Why did this become such an interest for you? You're sticking around for doing this 35 years.
Yeah,
why do you love it so much?
It just became such an adventure for me. I mean, we have done so many different kinds of gutter jobs over the years, and you think, how can that could be so exciting? But well, it really is fun. And I just love solving the problems for people. So it became an issue with me of finding out what people needed and helping solve that issue and helping them save money. That type of thing has always been fun for me. And like I say, every day's a new adventure.
Yeah, I would say, well, along those lines, tell me, that many years of experience, what's some of the craziest thing you've seen with gutters? I can only imagine when there's downspouts and things pulled away from the house.
Yeah.
What do you get to see?
I tell you, some of the historic homes here, I would probably tend to go in that direction for something that's kind of crazy, is that some of the historic homes have what's called a built-in gutter. So it's built up inside the structure. So you'll see a downspout, a 4-inch round downspout coming down through the wood soffit. And the gutter is inlaid inside the carpentry work in a lot of these old historic homes. Nobody does that type of construction today. So those are incredibly crazy to see those, because the old tinsmiths that back in the day that would make these handmade gutters and in 10-foot sections or 8-foot sections and do all the solder work, you don't even get to see it because it's up inside. But it's really amazing. So those are some crazy things that we've dealt with over the years, and we'll replace those, but that's a big ticket item.
Yeah, so that seems that would lend itself to more. If there's an issue, it's going inside.
Ooh, that's a big deal.
Inside the frame of the building.
That's a big deal.
That's not fun. That's
right. Seamless gutter's a whole different avenue, which is what we do probably 80% of the time. Yeah.
Okay. But it gives you relief to, as a professional doing this for so long, you're making sure that St. Louis doesn't drown itself with not having the right gutters.
You got it, brother.
All right. We've had the good fortune to do a lot of fun stuff in the community, leading with a lot of fun people who we get to work with. So we're at a charity event not too long ago. We're going to share a little bit about that. We're going to show a little bit about what we do in the community. We're going to go back and talk with Dave. We're going to get into some reviews and that stuff. We're going to talk about. Actually, we're going to talk about the reviews right now.
Okay.
And I noticed you recognized some names on here.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of the work for the companies here, so here they are. I'll put this on the wide angle here. But yeah, tell me here. Which one was it you noticed that you actually...
Sharon here at the top. This was a fun, wonderful house out in Eureka, and she wanted to change the color, and so we did black soffit fascia and gutters on this house, and I'll tell you, this gal was so excited at how it changed the whole look on her house. She just absolutely loves it. So she had the siding already, Sharon Watson, she's a wonderful lady, and you can see up underneath the black soffit, it looks like that's white fascia, but that's actually black. Just the angle of the reflection there,
yeah,
but
I got you.
Yeah. You can see it there. That's while the soffit and fascia was going up. Then we came back in with black gutters after that, and everything blended beautifully.
She really went out of her way to promote you guys. To say
she was so sweet.
And then if you take a look here, 53 reviews, 4.7. You guys obviously are making a lot of people very happy. How's that make you feel to see?
Oh, so it's been a while since I've seen these. It's very gratifying to see these. Just really, it's great. We love working for people and making them happy. That's really the...
Well, you got a good company on the ball when you got some companies, they get 2 or 3 or 5 or 10, but you guys are up over 50 reviews.
And these are legitimate reviews. These are not like our cousins, Hey, go write us a review. No, these are legitimate customers, and they are wonderful folks.
Well, that's what we'd like to see. The community leaders doing a good job, and Dave has done a great job of helping these people. You recognize quite a few of the names here. All right, everybody, we'll be back in just a second. We're going to go over and check out some of our fun stuff we had going on in the community. Stay tuned for more. Will Bates, everybody, will be inspired. Tell me about the event you got going on here.
Oh, we got a golf tournament today. Got some people coming out to support our military veterans and first responders. Everything that we raise today goes towards benefiting them, mental and physical health, overall wellness, wellness retreats, outdoor retreats, gym memberships. You think of it, you name it. That's what we do. So this is all to benefit them. I appreciate everybody coming out and taking action. Thank you.
We're at Old Hickory Golf Course. Been here for a number of events. Great crowd here. Yep. How many people turn out for this thing so far?
Oh, there'll be at least 170 people here.
170 golfers, everybody. All right, if they need the Cardinal Cowboy to give out some free golf lessons, I might be doing that later. Don't wait for that.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Get up. We'll see you guys. Get up.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. one of his best friends, died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey everybody, Cardinal Cowboy here. I want to invite all of you to be part of my new team. No, you don't have to put on a baseball uniform and be a super fan. Now, it would be a good idea to cheer for the Cardinals, the greatest team in the history of the National League. But I'm talking about the Gold Cowboy team. You know, I love to help people follow their dreams and reach their goals in business and in life. So that's one of the reasons why I'm telling you about my friends at My Metal Pro. They help people like you and I acquire gold and silver with a membership that lets you safely buy, sell, and store gold and silver. They make it real easy to get started. My Metal Pro isn't like the big guys you see on network TV or the big coin shops that take a huge commission. So become part of my Gold Cowboy team. Scan the QR code or go to goldcowboy.com and check it out. Giddy up! All right, everybody. So that's the fun stuff we get to do in the community, and it's just great to see community leaders and somebody like yourself. You didn't get so much into sports, but you played a lot of fun stuff with the neighborhood. That's where you get to kind of get to know the people you grew up with. Then, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Pickup games, and that was all, man, that was summer. That was summer living.
That's right, man.
It was summer living.
And we were talking about my buddy Cliff Polite. We grew up in the same neighborhood. Cliff had a fastball, man. He was like 85 years old, 85 miles an hour when he was in the 7th grade. And we're like, if he could learn to control that thing, he made it to the big league, World Series championship. 2005 White Sox. A lot of fun stuff we did growing up in the neighborhood. Tell us, you guys do offer a special discount a little bit. Tell us a little bit about
that. We'll do during October is kind of a big month for leaf protection. So leaf protection just meaning that we put a leaf protection in the gutters to help keep the leaves and debris out.
Right.
This is the season where the trees are just literally going to be dumping leaves here momentarily. So
right.
within any day now, we'll be doing that. So we'll offer a 10% off of our leaf protection during the month of October. So
okay. And
anybody wants to take advantage of that, give us a yell.
Good idea. That's right. Leaves are the biggest culprit and what they do is they clog the gutters. Is
they
that
sure
true?
do. Yeah.
That's the biggest problem you got there? And how do you prevent that? Well, keep the leaves.
Keep the leaves from getting in there. And it kind of depends on what trees you've got. There's a wide variety of different leaf protections that we offer, and we just kind of take a look at the trees that you've got and make some recommendations.
Okay, yeah, so there's different types of gutter shields, if you will, or whatever.
There are. There's many different kinds.
And depending on what kind of trees you've got, you'll apply that appropriately.
Right, and we give you a couple of things to choose from based on, to help you budget your money.
Okay. Very important. Well, let's do a little cost analysis. What is it that how often can people install gutters themselves? I haven't heard anybody try to do that.
Yeah, I don't recommend that one.
And then it's one of the biggest things, and what's the price range? Why would you spend more or less on gutters?
Well, I wouldn't recommend doing the gutters yourselves just because that you end up with 10-foot pieces that have seams in them and they're a big mess. So we do the seamless guttering, and we prefer doing that. The cost difference between 5-inch and 6-inch, you're probably going to run about $3 a foot more for the 6-inch gutter, which, in many cases is worth the $3. I mean, it really is per foot, depending. And we'll make a recommendation. A lot of times we'll price both for you, so you have a chance to look at those numbers. I like to really give people as much information as I can. And like when we were talking about leaf protection a minute ago, we separate that cost out so that, because inevitably somebody's going to come back and say, well, how much was the leaf protection? Well, how much was the leaf protection on the 5-inch or the 6-inch? So we do a breakdown, and it just makes it easy for you to look at and make a decision based on what best fits your needs and your budget.
Yeah, give people the gamut there because why would you want to buy things you don't need, but also then don't want to leave yourself undercovered.
Correct.
Because you don't want to have those problems. Do people try to install their own leaf guards? Is that a separate?
Yeah,
thing?
some people will try to do that.
I've seen
It just gets a little
that's
hairy when you're up on a 2.5, 3-story in the back. You may have 1 story in the front, piece of cake, 3-story in the back because you got a nice big hill that goes down. Gets a little exciting.
Yeah, no, I can talk about that one. My dad, and he might have been working on the leaf gutters or what, but he was up there. I don't know what he was doing, but he put a ladder on the side of the house, but on his back and slid down, smashed his face into the plow that we had on the side of the house, a little plow he had for his riding lawnmower. Busted out his teeth. He said, "Man, he just ruined his plow." He was.
Who cares about the teeth? It was the plow.
Busted his teeth out.
Oh no!
But it's a great
that's
story.
so fun.
But yeah, don't risk these
If you're
things.
not used to being up on a ladder, it can get a little unnerving. It's kind of funny because your eyes are, if you're 6 feet tall, your eyes are 6 feet higher than your feet. So your feet are actually closer to the ground than you think, but you might still get a little shaky on a ladder if you're not used to being up there. So
Yeah.
I don't recommend people do that.
Not necessarily the best way to do it.
not
Well,
your
tell me,
best
why should somebody choose Gutter Pros? What really sets you guys apart?
Gutter Pros is very competitive. We're a 100% local company,
Okay.
and we are here. We're here to stay. I think a lot of times what people will run into in trouble will be that they'll go with an out-of-town company or somebody that knocks on their door, and then they're gone. We have storm chasers that come through the area at different times of the year when they have storms, and so we are a local company, and again, we'll go 50 miles. So if you take downtown St. Louis, go out 50 miles to the east and do a great big circle. We'll cover that area, and we've gone beyond that as well. So we'll go far out, and we'll take care of our local people.
Yeah, how important is it to have somebody that is from the city, that they're based in where you're at, because gutters are something that can fail, and if you need some support, you need some help, or a storm comes through, and who's going to fix them?
That's us.
You don't want the guy. Where are those guys that call it the tail light warranty? Their warranty's as good as the.
As long as you can see their taillights blown out of town, that's correct. No, I strongly recommend you go to the local company, and again, Gutter Pros is here to stay. Been around for a long time. I've been around for a long time. I'm not going anywhere. So again, if there's a problem, you could contact our customers that have had issues, down the road. A tree limb falls again, so part of their house gets damaged. We're here to take care of that. So they don't have to find somebody else to do it. So
Yeah, and the tree limbs come down all the time here in St. Louis.
They
depending
do.
on where they're at.
Yeah.
I don't have any trees, and all of a sudden I've got trees on the side of my house. Apparently, some seedlings blew over and started growing up against my house.
Oh, yeah.
How they're growing up inside. You got to manage these things. Do you have any specific certifications or any kind of awards or accolades or anything that recognize you guys?
Well, accolades, we've had the Torch Award. We were given the Torch Award by the BBB several years ago, and that's a real honor. It's one of those things that comes up now and again. We haven't been renominated, but we're very much engaged with the BBB. We're A+ rated, and we take really good care of our customers. So that A+ rating continues. I'm the one that gets the emails that keeps telling us that we're qualified, certified, if you will. I don't know if there's a certificate that goes with that, but
Well, that Torch Award I know is a big deal.
that was a big deal.
And how long ago was that, and why do you think
It's
you
been
earned that?
several years ago, and there was a lady that that needed gutter work done, and then there was a situation in her family where she fell on some difficult financial times, and so the owners of the company came out and said, "Look, we're going to write this off. We're going to make sure she gets her gutters. We don't want her to worry about this. There's other things to worry about in her life right now. This is not going to be one of them." And for that, we were nominated and received the Torch Award from BBB. They thought that was really cool. So I will say that our owners are very generous men, and they're just great guys. So
Yeah, those are the kinds of things we talk about. If you can set yourself apart, going out and helping somebody, it doesn't necessarily have to be some big deal that you promote, but when the word will spread. And good karma, social media these days, they hear good things like that. And I've just learned, you go out and help people, makes your life a little easier too.
and it feels good. It should feel good.
That's important. Yes, I'll go back to another quote from the judge on our other show, the Cowboy and Judge show. Judge, shout out there. Write that one down. Cowboy and Judge. We did that thanks to the car show
Love that
guys.
pencil.
Take note. That's what I found that at the gas station. But he said, "Isn't it wonderful that when you do something good, you feel good about it? Wouldn't it be terrible that if you did something bad, that you felt good about it?"
Yeah, that
And
makes
so
total sense.
God made it that way, and thank goodness that it was made that way, or else we'd all be.
Yeah.
It'd be a little tougher to make it on this little planet, wouldn't it?
I agree. We're all on this big rock together, so.
Tell me then, what is the biggest mistake that a consumer can make? This is a big decision. You're getting your roof, you're getting your siding, you're getting your gutters. All of those pieces work together. What's the biggest mistake people make when they're buying gutters?
I think, I mentioned it earlier, buying from somebody outside of town And the other thing that I would say, and it's a tender point with me, and that's if somebody gets high pressured into signing a contract, that is not us. We do not high pressure anyone. And if you feel obligated to sign because somehow you'll get some massive discount if you sign by 7 o'clock in the evening, that's not on the up and up. That's a mistake, and some people will way overpay when they do that. So we're very competitive, we're very honest, we're very upfront, and we're going to be there. We're there to solve your problem. We're not there to put any intense pressure. One of the things is, and I found this to be true, people don't know a whole lot about gutters. They don't know a whole lot about roofing. They don't know a whole lot about soffit, fascia, and siding because it's not their day-to-day thing.
Right.
But I always ask them, I said, well, what do you do for a living? And for a wide variety of different things that people do. I said, well, if I were to try to explain what you do, I couldn't. So I would lean on your expertise.
Right.
So by the same token, this is what we do. And so we have an eye to spot the stuff that maybe they won't see. It's important. So those are, mistakes can be made by people who just don't know. And we don't want them to feel like they're being taken advantage of in any way whatsoever. So we're going to be upfront.
Yeah. Best to get at least 1 or 2 bids, 3 or 4 bids. Feel out a company. Look at their
you
reviews.
can get 2 to 3 bids, and that way that'll give you a comparison of where everybody is on numbers, and you'll see if somebody's like way off the chart or way too ridiculously cheap, because sometimes mistakes can be made there too if the company's not experienced.
Make this decision right now. How often, don't do that, but how often is it the case that they go with the lowest bid and that is a bad decision?
Oh, that's a tough one for me to answer for sure, but I'm sure there are some that are just lowballing, and that's, you may or may not have a good experience with that. And if it's the lowball and it ends up being a disaster, then you end up having to do it twice. So that's not a good deal. So I'd look somewhere in the, to the middle is where you'll probably find your best price.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. Cheap gets very expensive. You don't want to be the cheapest one.
Amen to that. Cheap gets expensive.
Last thing you want to do is have to do a gutters job twice.
Yes.
That's a lot of labor involved to put the whole thing up there, line everything up. Hanging it, what's so critical about the way the gutters get hung so that they stay sustained?
It's back in the day, everything was it was called a screw shank nail. So it was a nail that kind of twisted when it went into the wood. Now we use screws, and your gutter should be installed with screws every 2 feet, not every 3. So we install the hangers every 2 feet in our company, and we screw them in with nice 1.5-inch hex head screws that are stainless steel, so they won't fall apart on you. So that's really important, and I think that's about all I can answer on that one. One other thing that just thought about was the mistakes that people make is hiring someone that is not insured. Like if they don't have liability insurance or workers' comp. You might save a few bucks, but the risk is extremely high for the customer.
Somebody falls off on a ladder.
Yeah,
you could be having to pay a big bill.
Big time problem.
We've seen big lawsuits come about that. All right, everybody, that's it for our first half hour. We're going to have Dave stick around for another half hour. A lot more important stuff to talk about. Stay tuned. Tune in for that second.
Thank you very much.
Everybody. Giddy up.